Uh, Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Zoom meeting of the Ware Board of Selectmen for February 8th, 2021. I'm going to have a roll call. To Vice Chairman Hippler, are you there?
Present.
Sherry, are you there?
Present.
Okay. John Osborne
Here.
and John Van.
I'm here.
Okay. Everybody's here. The next item on the agenda is going to be public comment. Do we have anybody for public comment? I guess not. Okay, the next item will be the discussion of department heads and committee items. Do you have any department heads on tonight? And I guess that would also.
No, we don't. I'm not sure where Chief Moore, he was invited tonight because we're talking about all seasons, but
Okay.
he hasn't gotten on yet, but we can roll back around to him if we need to.
Okay, next thing is going to be discussion on the all seasons board of directors. And
So Tom and Kim are on, I believe.
yeah,
And then we
okay.
have Kathy and we also have Cindy,
yeah,
board of directors at all seasons.
and Mary, no, that's not, okay,
Yeah,
there we
you know
go.
who that is.
So,
Tom, do you want to start? How do you want to, this is kind of little.
Well, what do we, so this meeting is for to see where we're gonna be for next month, correct? On what kind of help we can get and what we're allowed to do and not to do? Is that what
Right.
we're?
well, we got your memo and just so, you know, people know, we had a memo from you and that's, you signed it, Tom, and it's got some, it sounds like you've been talked to your attorney.
Yep.
Helped write it. So, I mean, there has to be, yeah, you'll get help, you know, from whatever we can do, but some of it has to be because of your bylaws, filing an injunction and then having the sheriff's department take care of the rest of it because it's a civil, that comes under the civil part of it.
Okay, yep.
And I think the rest of the board's got a copy of the letter, and when I reviewed it and went over with it, it looks like it's pretty cut and dry and solid. And I know the police chief, there's been discussions that he's had some discussions with you and you've worked together on some of this, that he'll do whatever he can do.
So I think that's what we're up against because we still have, it doesn't seem like anything's been done. You know, I called and I asked about the registrations that was supposed to get taken care of, and I was told that they were taken care of, and somebody told me that one of them wasn't taken care of, and the chief, you know, he said that it was done. So I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page. And you know, I since the last meeting, I've heard from nobody. I've had no discussions with anybody. I've tried to get a hold of Naomi. I've reached out. Cindy's reached out. Kathy's reached out, and we've all reached out, and we've gotten no response except for tonight's meeting on anything that's going on. So I'm kind of no further ahead than I was when I left the meeting.
Right. I'd have to, I guess, apologize for some of that. We get wrapped up with everything, getting ready for deliberative session and voting, and it's been a real can of worms, so to speak, trying to set this up. According to what we've been informed by the police chief, all of them have changed their registrations and licensing and are no longer using that as an address. Some of them are in other towns in the state. They've moved on. So, and according to him, all of them have been done. So that's the best information I've got at this time,
Okay.
unless we hear from the chief. So supposedly that's all done and taken care of, and they were informed that that's, you know, they can't do that.
So Tom, can I ask
All
you a
right.
question? That memo that you did in December, has that been sent to everybody?
The letter that I sent you,
Yeah, has that been sent to all the owners?
everybody's, yeah, it's been sent to everybody.
Okay.
The last meeting that we spoke, you said that you were going to reach out and send something out yourself
Yeah, that's what
from
I
the,
just wanted to make sure that yours got sent out.
Cindy, when did ours get sent out?
The same time that we sent it to you, Naomi, that's when we sent it out to everybody
Okay,
by US mail.
okay. And there's what, 130 of you? Does that sound right?
There's 130 sites, but some people own 2 and 3 sites, so
Okay.
you're probably looking like 120 or so.
So let me ask you this. Town council I spoke with on Saturday because she was at deliberative session. She couldn't make it tonight. But if I work with the police chief and maybe have town council brush it up in lines kind of like what you did, so we're on the same page, and we send it to all of them. Would that work for you guys as well, so that it's kind of like of us together? Is that something that you would be happy with?
I believe that's something that's what we were hoping for. We just need to know that we have somebody behind us. I mean, the last time, we don't know where to go. Do we call the police or do we call the sheriff, or it's like, where do we go? The police tell us that they can't do nothing. And so now when the first comes, and like I said before, I'm gonna close off the 2 side roads. I'm gonna put a chain across, and I'm gonna put a chain across up by the rec hall, but the common area is gonna stay open. There'll be a box there, and everybody will have a code to it that needs one to town. And the fire department, and I can give everybody a code and leave a key in like a lockbox there, so that if there is an emergency or you have to get in, there's access. And if it's snowing, the chain will be down anyways. I'm not gonna have the chain up, obviously, because we have the plow in there. So the only time, it's only going to be for that month, but it's like, what happens if they cross over after 5 o'clock? Like, what are our guidelines on that? How do we stand?
But you go in,
I haven't talked again with Chris, Chief Moore, but I mean, it's my understanding that I don't know why. I guess I have to ask him why he feels like he can't. I know your letter said that it was going to be the sheriff's office. I'm not sure why it's the sheriff's office and not us. That's where I'm a little bit puzzled.
Well, because Chief Moore told me that it's a civil, but that at this point, when at 5 o'clock, when the chains are up, it becomes a trespass, I believe, at that point, from what I was told. So at a trespass, I believe trespass is the town that would enforce that,
right,
but I might be wrong.
at that point, I believe it goes to a criminal aspect, which the police can do instead of a civil one. If you put signs up there, if the gates are up and you cross afterwards, it's considered trespassing, or put some type of notice then.
Right. Well, so I mean, the letter, we put the letter out. That was one thing. We're
Yep.
definitely it's definitely gonna be posted, as much as we possibly can. We got to make this work somehow, and I need to know where my backup is. I need to know if people are there at 5 o'clock, who do I call? You know what I'm saying? We've come a long way. I'll tell you that I think the people are really starting to see that we mean business, but we just need to know where we're going with it. Like, who do we call? And I was hoping the chief was going to be on today, because that's the kind of the answers that we're looking for.
I think the other thing too is to talk, if you're gonna put signs up, is to talk to your attorney to see what the exact wording, like, anybody here after a certain hour will be considered trespassing and will be prosecuted, or so forth, something along that line.
Yeah.
And the attorney can give you exact legalese, so the sign will meet the legal requirements. That's one of the big things with trespassing.
Right. Well, and I hope that letter really explains everything of what's going on. Of the whole gist of it. I mean, excuse me.
No, I'm sorry. I hate this thing, but so Jack, you're saying trespass. Why can't I have Laura put something in there, our attorney, about trespass?
She could do it also, but they want to put signs up you know, and to go down to the hardware store and just say no trespassing, I think that doesn't always cover it. Statutorily, there's certain requirements on certain things, so I think that if you also consult your attorney, you're gonna put the signs up to make sure that you're covered, it covers everybody.
Right.
What,
But again, at that point, when it does happen, who am I calling? Am I calling the sheriff's department or am I calling the police department?
I think if you do talk to the attorneys, we'll talk to our town attorney and your attorney, and if we do it the right way, you can probably after hours, I would assume it's now a criminal act, not a civil act, and you can probably call the town police.
Okay, can we get a verification on that?
Well, that's what we're gonna work on, you know. Naomi will contact town council and see exactly the exact grounds that we're standing on at that point.
Okay,
can I butt in for a second?
good.
I'm just, the signs would have to, those will have to be like professionally done and would have to order them, hopefully get them in before the
I
end of the
can get
month.
them made. I can get them made within a couple of days. It's not a big deal. I just need to know what they need to say.
Okay,
That's easy. Having the signs made, that's not a problem at all. And we were supposed to have a meeting with the lawyers regarding how are we, what are we? Are we a campground? Are we a condo? We're still up in the air on this too. We still never came to the determination of what we are.
That's gonna have to be worked out between you and your attorneys on that part.
Well, that's the last meeting. That's what we were supposed to be. We were supposed to have a meeting with your attorney, our attorney, and the board to figure out where we stand. Because at this point right now, we have somebody staying there that I'm told that I can't shut the water off. And, you know, Chief Moore is telling me I can't do it. The bylaws state that I can do it. And so I'm still in limbo with this whole thing. So,
Yeah,
and
that's
that's,
yeah, we had that discussion before, and I think the issue is you're gonna have to work with your attorney on that. It's not gonna be on us so much as it's gonna be on you and your attorney to make sure that your rules will meet the law. We'll be able to do that, so you will have the teeth in it, so you can do that. That doesn't come to us. That's something within your realm, not so much the town's.
but the bylaws are from the town, correct? And
You did the bylaws. No, we didn't do the bylaws.
Cindy, how does that work on that part?
Well, there's an entity, it's the New Hampshire Condo Association, and they have a set of bylaws. And we fall, for condo associations, we fall within some of those bylaws, some of the things within those bylaws, but other things we do not fall within because we're a campground. Because a condo association is, by definition, a place where people reside. And so we can't be a condominium association because it cannot be our residence. So that's the issue that we have, is that we fall within this umbrella of the condo association bylaws, but many of the pieces within the bylaws don't apply to us because we're actually a campground that is not a residence that we're in. If we were going to choose, and if I'm going to recollect that, and there's one email, Tom, from the chief, which he told us that we fall under the condominium association bylaws. And if that's the case, then we're a place where people reside, and enforcing all of these policies is fruitless.
I think that's something
And
that you
there
have
was a
to
different
draft.
part.
I believe that's something you're going to have to draft. You know, the New Hampshire Condo Association is not a government agency. So they're following whatever guidelines their attorneys or whoever on their association has. I think you have to go and work with your attorney to make sure that your bylaws for that specific site has what you need in it. That's not,
Right.
that's not the responsibility of the town.
Right, no, but that's the conundrum that,
And then once you
that's
get that,
causing
if
the
you,
problem.
yeah, if you get that and then you get whatever glitches you can work out of it, and at that point, you can give it to our attorney and then we can know exactly where we stand on it.
Mhm.
That's the tough part too, because we can't enforce some of that, and we have no authority as far as what the New Hampshire Condo Association does. And what you have to do is kind of take some of those loopholes or whatever you want to call them, as you say, the conundrum of it out of your situation and close it up.
Right, because
I-
that's what some of the owners use as an argument. When we
And-
tell them that they can't do X, Y, or Z, they say, well, we're under the condominium association. And they try to use that. Now, we do have some adjustments that have been made in our bylaws over the years that accommodate the fact that we're a campground that does not have year-round access.
Right.
For overnight stays. The way that it's worded is November and March, you cannot stay overnight. I believe the hours are between 9 and 5, something like that. So we need to find a way to have our bylaws adjusted to name us as a campground association as opposed to a condo association. That's what we need to do.
Well, I was advised when I talked to our attorney last week that her suggestion was to redo all the bylaws to pertain to today.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
I don't know how much she can't do it though, because she's not up on that. That's not what she does, but she should tell us, refer us to somebody that would be able to, but God knows how much, I don't know how much that would cost, and I just don't know, but, because these are so old that they just either a campground or a condominium, you can't be both. But then there's that
Right.
356 rule in the about campground that we go by that, but then we go by the condo rules also, so it's really difficult.
So I guess what you're telling us, Jack, is that we need to figure out which way the lawyer's got to figure out what we need to do, and then propose it to you, and then your lawyer will look it over and make sure that that's what we can do.
Well, what you're going to have to do, and Kathy just said it the right way, is you're going to have to get an attorney, and she already spoke to the attorney. You're going to have to redo your bylaws to take out
Right.
those glitches about condo, seasonal facility like a campground, and that you can only be there certain times, and make sure that gets locked down. And instead of being the confusion, well, is it a campground or is it a
Mhm.
condo association? What? And then so that takes that out of the mix. So you have one or the other. And that's
Okay.
going to be, once you get that done and put that in there, the attorneys can advise you and do that, and then also research it with statute for anybody being there after hours for certain times. It's a criminal aspect that the police can come up there and either chase them out or arrest them, or whether it's civil, then you'd have to go to the sheriff's office, file an injunction in court, or a written in court, and then they would come up and serve it and either arrest them on that or and take them out of there. It's like
Mhm.
almost like an eviction.
Okay.
So that's where you're kind of stuck. You're in between. You're like in limbo between the two of them, and neither one of them are really good, except maybe you put the posting signs up and it says no trespassing after a certain hour. Anybody caught here will be prosecuted. And put the RSA number, which is usually what the wording is, and then that way the local police, if they catch somebody up there, unless they're authorized, such as maintenance or somebody like that, then then they can take action.
Right. Yeah. So that's the whole thing with Chief Moore is like the people that are staying there, the way it used to be is that we could shut their water off, and the chief is telling me that you can't do that, but in our bylaws it states that we can do it, and he telling me that I can't go on their property to do it. So that's where we're up against. He's telling me I can do one thing. The sheriff's department's telling me I can do another thing. And so that's what I was just looking for a little help on that, just to see,
Right.
you know, but again, I believe it's all attorneys that have to.
That's
gonna have
exactly
to
it. And a
do.
lot of it is gonna be on what you guys as an association sit down with your attorney and say, hey, listen, this is what we've got. Let's see if we can do this. So, you know.
All right. So what are you requiring from me? How is that looking for you? Like if, when I put the chains, I was going to put barriers up, but I'm not, because if there was a fire or something, the fire department wouldn't be able to get through the two other entrances. So how would you guys like for access to a key, or how would it work for you?
As far as for the fire department, usually they have what they call a knock box. It's a little square box that they have a special key to get in and get the keys to get the gates or whatever. But
Okay, yeah, we have it on our building.
I think that's something that probably at some point you're going to have to sit down with the fire chief, the police chief, and I would say the road agent to work something out so it's accommodate all of them. So I'm
Right.
not sure what the answer would be to that, but as long as they can get access to an emergency equipment or to get in and out of there as needed.
Yeah, and there is one of those boxes on our building, right where the gate, right where the chain is gonna go across the main part of it. So for the fire department, we have that.
So if you
I
give
think-
him
I
a
think that-
key, if you give him a key, Tom, then he'll just add it to the box. Because they
Yep.
have something in their truck. I don't know that they can just unlock the box.
I mean, they could.
Yeah.
I mean, if they had to, they could cut it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's not. But I just want to make sure that, you know, when I do it, we're all, you know, I don't want you to say, oh, well, we didn't say that you could do it. And I'm only doing it to try to keep. If they want to get in, they're going to drive over the lawns, or they're going to do what they've got to do. I'm just trying to do it to keep it in uniform so that we're all on the same page.
And like I said, I would reach out to the fire chief, reach out to the highway superintendent and the police chief and have them kind of work it
Well, I
out.
don't know that he needs to reach Benji at the highway, because didn't you say, Tom, you were gonna leave it if it was gonna snow?
Oh, he's
Yeah,
gonna-
absolutely.
Okay, so then it's the not
It's
so
really
much the
fire
highway,
and police.
just the fire.
Yeah,
and
so
police.
then that would be it. Like if the police department wanted to come through or whatever, that's like I said, I'll do whatever the easiest way and the most accommodating way. I'll do it. I just, you know, I was hoping Chief Moore was going to be on here tonight so we could resolve it, but I guess I'll have to reach out to him tomorrow and see
Right.
what we
Yeah,
can do.
can I make a comment on this?
Yep.
Just a suggestion, and I don't know, maybe you've already done this, but why don't you look at some bylaws, like from Cold Spring Campground and, you know,
We
some
have.
of the, you have?
Yeah.
I would think that would give you a good basis. These guys are,
See, you know what it is? So the Cold Springs is when they shut down, you're out. You're done. There's no coming in from 8 to 5. There's none of the, when you're closed for that month, you know, when they close down, they're closed. There's no, you can't come in for no reason.
what about Autumn Hill? Are they completely closed in the winter months?
Yeah, and
Yes.
the thing is, Sherry, those are campgrounds, and this is like a seasonal site that they're permanent structures on lots.
Right, and
Uh-huh.
plus people own them.
People own them,
Where-
whereas in campgrounds, they'll own the
Right.
trailer and they'll leave it there all year on a
Right.
seasonal site, but they're only allowed, it's a different
What was that?
situation.
Yeah,
Right, it's a rental situation.
Yeah.
Whereas at all seasons, people own and they pay taxes and,
they pay, yeah.
yeah, and so it's
So
different.
that's where we get stuck. That's where we're stuck in the middle of what it is. You don't know, because they
Yeah.
do own their property. The common areas are ours, the roads are ours, the common area is ours, but the property is theirs. And that's where the whole thing becomes a problem. In
Yeah.
shutting water off, I have to go onto their property to shut their water off. But it's our water system that we allow them to have when you do pay your dues, and you know, you pay your condo and all your stuff. And then if you don't pay it, see, right now, there's no repercussion. If you don't pay, right now, from what Chief Moore tells me, there's nothing I can do. I can't shut their water off no more. If you didn't pay your electricity, they shut your electricity off.
Right.
If you don't pay your propane, they don't come put propane in. We have access to the water. That's the only thing that we have for people. So we should have the rights, as it says in the bylaws, to shut the water off. And this is where
Well,
Chief Moore and I have been back and
I
forth.
mean, you have remedy, but
What?
What?
Can't,
We
Jack, we
we
can't
can't
hear you.
hear you.
you'd have to go to court to get that remedy. You'd have to go to court.
Hold
Well, that's what we're doing now. That's what I'm doing now. I'm in the court process of it.
on. Yeah, with the town.
So, yeah, that's what I'm in the process of doing now, but, and that's why we're confused about condo and camp.
Yeah, because like he said, if you have your electric shut off, you don't pay, you don't have electric. And they've been doing it for years, shutting it off, and now all of a sudden, we've been told we can't, but this is the way the condo association / campground has done it since what, 1985?
Yeah, you know, the only other way to do it is you gotta go to court and you gotta get a court order to shut the water off. Is that's what the chief was saying before. You'd have to go before the court to get them to shut it off.
I mean, that's what I'm in the process of doing right now.
Right.
I'm doing it the court way, but it's, you know, that's not the way it's never been that way. And that's why, you know, when he stepped in and he's telling me that we can't do it and, you know, whatever. All right. I understand. So,
But that's per individual who would have to go to court every time, right?
Right,
Yeah.
each
That's what I'm
individual.
hearing.
Yeah,
Unless you change your
bylaws.
your bylaws, because you deal with a public utility like a water company or electric company or gas company. You know, they have certain protections. They're a utility, and they have certain regulations that they follow, and they've got it. So if you write it up like that, you know, follow something like along those guidelines, you'd probably be further ahead. Your attorney can advise you better on that. So.
Okay.
all right. So I guess I guess those are the answers. Does Cindy or Kathy have any more questions? Because I think that's what we were up against with the town and seeing what we had to do and what we could do. But I think, so the answer to it is attorney.
Yep,
That's what I'm hearing.
So-
Yeah, but I'm also hearing that the town is gonna send out a letter that's gonna support everything that we're trying to do, similar to the letter that
Yes,
we sent out in December.
right. and
Because
so-
we've fined these people and they won't even pay the fines. It's
we-
just,
Again,
Yeah.
that's nothing to do with the town. I believe that's
oh
where
no,
it
I'm
becomes.
just mentioning it, yeah.
I understand it's frustrating, and like I said, you know, but that's something you'll have to work out with the attorneys. Anybody
Okay.
else on the board have any other comments on this?
There's only three of us on.
That's only
I'm
three,
talking
yeah.
about, I'm talking about our board.
Oh, I'm sorry.
On our board. Ricky, John,
I completely agree with you, Jack, that they definitely need to redo their bylaws and come up into the age now as to when those bylaws were first written.
Mhm.
I think that would be the best thing for them to do.
All right, I kind of agree that,
Yeah.
it changes so much, and everybody finds a loophole through, like, back in the day, everybody was, when you had a set of bylaws and you bought in, people respected it, but when you get to this day and age, it doesn't happen no more. So I guess that's my step. That's what I'll do, and I'll start working on that as soon as I can. And I think that's all we can do, and I appreciate your time. And
okay, well, thank you. I'm sorry we didn't get back to you sooner. It dragged on, but we had a bunch of other things that threw at us with this,
Yep.
trying to get deliberative and so forth.
yeah,
So.
now Naomi, you're gonna send us a copy of that letter or an email of,
Yeah, I've been using the emails for the association. Is that where you want it to go, Tom?
yep. So because Kathy, I, and Cindy, we can
Yeah.
all read it
We
instead
couldn't
of,
all share an email for tonight, that's why.
yeah. We're all in different areas.
Right, yeah, okay. No, as soon as I get it, but I think what we're gonna do is A, use some of yours and back you, but then B, I'm gonna have her research the RSA for trespass as well as who you call for the civil. to call the town police, you know, like that. So I just gonna have her write a little, but it's gonna support what you've got, because I liked your letter. And everything that's in it. So I'll just, but I will definitely show you a copy, Tom.
All right, I appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Hey,
Appreciate
you
it.
guys
you.
don't have to stay on for the rest of the enjoyment, but you can if you got nothing to do.
Well, what's it gonna be
I-
about?
Oh, we're talking about a mailer.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Have a
Take
good night.
care.
Thanks.
Yep.
Yeah,
Bye.
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 Okay, next item on the agenda is finalize the wording for the 2021 town mailer.
So typically what we've done, just I'll do this for John. Typically what we've done, John, is whoever spoke to the article on Saturday is responsible for the, I'll call it justification, because I hate the word blurb, for our justification that's going to go right after the warrant article. So the first one was Jack for the operating budget, which is Article 9.
Yeah, I get that.
So do you have what you're gonna, this is gonna be a little bit more challenging because everybody's at a different location. Typically, we go over it, share all our copies.
Yeah, I've started working on it. I haven't finalized any of them yet, so. I was waiting till after the town deliberative session, but I'll have them by the end of the week.
Okay, so all of your articles we won't have for tonight.
No.
Sherry, do you have yours? You're the next one for the town employee raises?
No, but I'll get something, I'll get all of mine together and I'll get them emailed up to you by Friday.
Okay, well, just keep in mind, the mail is gonna be there by Monday, so my plan
Well,
was to try to,
You want them earlier than that, Naomi?
well, I'd take them tonight, but anyway.
I don't have them already.
Um,
I'll try to get them as soon as I can between
You'll
now
have
and.
mine by Wednesday, so.
because Thursday night, the finance committee's meeting, and my plan is to, I mean, I don't want to just put it out. I thought you guys all have a little bit of input together, but I guess what you can do if we're not ready for tonight is you can send them to me. I can throw them all together and send them back to you, but don't answer as a group. Just, you can either call me or let me know that it's fine, or if I missed what you said. Ricky, did you have anything for tonight?
He fell
Ricky,
asleep.
Ricky, you had the next article, which was the firefighters.
Yeah, I did both of mine.
Okay.
Want
Do
me
you
to send
want to go ahead and read yours and then you can send it to me, or how do you want to do that?
I'll just send it to you if you want.
Well, okay. And
I
I
mean,
know
I
John,
can read them off, but it doesn't seem like everybody's prepared, so.
I know John Van is prepared, I believe. We had a conversation this afternoon.
Yeah, I've got mine. I can read them. They're short, doesn't really make a difference.
Yeah, mine are short too. I'll read them off. I don't care.
All right, you had Article 11 for the firefighters and the pump repairs, so go ahead, Ricky.
Purpose of this article is to further continue the plan set forth by the fire chief in 2019 to add full-time staffing to the Ware Fire Rescue Department. This is the third year of a 4-year plan to put in 8 full-time personnel. This article will continue to assist with staffing challenges posed by increased call volume and keep response times during certain hours more reasonable and acceptable.
You want to do your pump one too?
What's that?
You want to do the one for the pump too?
Yep. The purpose of this article is to rebuild the fire pump in the 2012 HME fire truck known as Engine 2. There are parts that have reached their service life and if not replaced could cause severe damage to the gearbox and the truck be rendered inoperable. These funds will be used to, the funds to be used will be coming from the Fire Rescue Vehicle Equipment Special Revenue Fund and have a zero tax impact.
Anybody
Like I
got
said,
any
I'll
issue with
email that over tomorrow because some of it's worded, some of it I wrote, some of it I typed. So I'll just type it all up tomorrow and send it over to you.
Okay, and then, so John Van, you want to go ahead and read yours?
Yep, for Article 12, which is the park raises, the majority of the Chase Park staff are high school kids on their summer break. They could easily find higher paying employment within town and surrounding communities. This article is to increase the pay rate to try to attract and retain summer help for Chase Park. It has been a couple of years since we've been able to purchase replacement police cruisers. Last year, both articles failed, and the year before, it was decided that the new incoming chief would address their needs. Since then, we have retired and sent to auction the 2008 Ford Taurus and the last Crown Victoria due to excessive rust and major mechanical failures, both cost prohibitive to repair. Chief Moore has a great plan in place for life cycling the fleet to keep repair and maintenance costs to a minimum.
Anybody have any questions for John or any issues?
John, the only thing I might do at the end of that cruiser article is just put in that, in this article, and like something along the lines of, in this article is to start that life cycle process or whatever. It just seems to dead end a little quick, that's all.
All right.
John Osborne, did you have anything? John?
Did he get kicked out?
No, his mute, mic is on
You're
mute.
good.
John? Osborne?
Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah, hang on, he'll be back. So I guess what we'll do is
Yeah, he got kicked out again.
if you guys can get them over to me by Wednesday, I'll get them over to you by Thursday, and then I'll add the finance committees to it Thursday night. And then we can get it all done for Friday. I do have a question while we're on the mailer. There's been some back and forth about, I had informed the school because the deadline for the printer is the 15th. Hold on. John, are you back?
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay, did you have something?
I'll get them to you Wednesday morning.
Okay. Frank Campana is on. Frank, did you have a question? Frank? Frank, are you there?
Hello,
Oh, there you are.
hello.
Did you have a question, Frank?
Well, I did. I wasn't here for public comment. Again, just to address the police cruiser, it doesn't sound like there's going to be any mention in the mailer of what the anticipation of the vehicle, what is going to be bought. I had requested that, and Moderator Meany said that they didn't think that they could, that of the at the deliberative, she didn't think that the board could subscribe, make that decision there. You have to wait for tonight. So again, it doesn't sound like there's going to be any mention as duplicate of last year's warrant article. It was a description of what the car is.
Frank, I believe that's probably addressed to me if I'm correct. So explain to me again, what is it that you're looking? Are you looking to have word like
Well,
patrol vehicle added? Is that what you're looking for, sir?
If I don't have it in front of me, if you look at last year's mailer in regards to the two vehicles,
Yep, I have that in front of me. Go ahead.
it said specifically that it was 4x4. I'm doing from memory.
Article 11.
4x4 for Tahoe, and it was PPV or something, I believe.
Yeah, so Frank, you're looking for the make model of what it is, Chevy Tahoe, police pursuit vehicle,
Yeah,
right?
yes.
Okay.
And the only reason, I was waiting for even Saturday for someone to say, well, the highway trucks are not specific, but, to indicate what they're going to be, because there are so many variables in buying a truck. As Benji even said in response to finding a used truck, that, his, gear ratios, engines, transmissions, et cetera. But this car here seems to be, an off-the-shelf made police car. So, I just like you to discuss that and, kind of duplicate that information from last year. So it's up to you guys if, you folks, if you want to do it, all right, but at least have that discussion. I would appreciate it. I mean, the precedent's already been set from last year for as far as the description.
I mean, we could, the diesels are coming out too. I just, how we can say our anticipation, but Ford may come out with something, Dodge may come out with something, but right now he's leaning towards the Chevy, or the plan as we know today is probably the Chevy 4x4 PPV. But what if comes time to order it and Ford's got a better price or something else? I don't know. I understand what you're saying, Frank. I just think we talk about tying ourselves in.
Well,
I think what this comes back to though on this one is I think the Chevy Tahoe is the state bid, and I could be wrong saying that.
That's not the only state bid. I mean, they have, it could be the Ford Explorers on the state
Right.
bid, the Chevy Tahoe or GMC, Yukon, or you get,
Yukon PPV.
or Suburban, and
Dodge got anything out there?
Dodge has one, an SUV. Ford has the Explorer and the Expedition, which are what they call their SSV, Special Service Vehicles. And the state subscribes to all of those. So the different departments pick and choose which ones they want or what's the best price. So, and if it's not available and he's going to get one, I think it's wrong to lock it in. It's like saying, oh, we're going to get a Mac, but they end up with a International for a truck. I understand what Frank's saying, but and I think it's also a bad precedent to set, that you're going to get a specific vehicle and then all of a sudden it's not there.
Well, what would have happened last year, Jack, if that had, the same could be said for last year's article. And the Tahoe is, again, as last year, what he presented to CIP for this year. So he has his mind made up for that, and I'm not questioning that, but
if he goes to get it and it's not available, then what? He may end up getting an Explorer or an Expedition. They're police package vehicles.
Well, if he goes to get it and it's not available, then maybe there should have been some more thought put into it. Okay, that's it. You're not going to do it, so that's fine. Thank you.
We didn't say
Thank you, Naomi.
We didn't say we weren't going to do it. I think we can add it to the mailer as
Well,
we know today, and we can have this discussion. As we know today, and today's plan is to buy the Chevy Tahoe 4x4 PPV. I guess it's no harm in the wording. It's not locked into the article. So he could go buy something, and I just think that if you preface it with, as we know today, and the chief's plan is, I don't think it's a problem. It's just it'd be more of a problem if you locked it in with the article itself, like last year. And I don't have a problem adding it. I don't know what you guys
Question
think.
for you. Would it be okay, Frank, would it be okay if it was worded that it is anticipated that this would be used to purchase a Chevy Tahoe 4x4 or?
Absolutely. I didn't want to overspeak Naomi, but I mean, that would be certainly, just as you use the word estimated dollar amount. I mean, that's perfectly fine.
Thank you, Frank.
Because and just let me just ask this. If in fact, there's a dollar amount attached to that, to this year's article with 66 or whatever the dollar amount is. So if in fact, Jack, what you say could happen, and I agree could, if that's not available, what if he has to buy a car that's more expensive? He's locked into that dollar amount from the article. So, everything is kind of anticipated or estimated, and I get that.
Well, the article, if the article is for, I don't have it in front of me, but argument's sake, $61,000. If that's all the voters approve, we cannot exceed that. So if it's less than that, we can do that, but we can't exceed the approved amount that the voters approve.
Right. Right. I get that too. So, well, it's certainly acceptable to me, and I think I would hope it would be to the board to use that word anticipated. That would be fine. Because that's the best you could do is anticipate something.
Correct.
And I don't mean to sound that to be critical. Hey, I can anticipate I'm going to wake up tomorrow morning, but who knows?
Thank you, Frank. We'll go ahead and make those adjustments.
Okay, well, discuss it amongst all of you. Thank you again, Naomi. This is new for me.
Welcome.
You won't see my
Okay.
picture though, my photo. Because I've seen that. So. All right, thank you so very much, board. All right.
Hey, good night, Frank.
Okay, thank you, Jack.
So do you want to discuss the,
Okay.
what Frank has
Anything else
suggested?
on
I think John Van.
mailer? I was
I
going to
think
say, John,
John
it sounds
Van
like
added
pretty
it.
much covered it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm going to add that to my little blurb here it's,
Okay.
I don't know how I'm going to word it in here just yet, where it's going to be placed, but when I send it over to Naomi, it'll have, when I send the revised one to Naomi, it'll have the new verbiage.
There you go.
Okay, that's great.
Jack, do you have the selectmen's report? The annual report?
It's already in. Naomi's got it. I
Well,
don't
that
have
was-
it with me.
All right, we usually read that to the board before it went into the mailer.
I don't recall it, but I gave it to Naomi the other day, so go to the printer for the annual report.
We can share it with everybody. It's not going to the printer till
Okay.
Friday, so.
Anything else on the mailer? And I guess we'll move on to the manifest. Order the treasurer to sign the payroll and accounts payable checks dated February 11th, 2021 to include in the following manifests. Payroll manifest of $69,351.70. That's the weekly payroll. Accounts payable manifest for $86,241.76. The Ware District accounts payable manifest of $300,000, district school district that should be. And the John Stark accounts payable manifest for $250,000 for a total of $705,593.46. As there is no selectmen's meeting scheduled for Monday, February 15th, 2021, please vote to order the treasurer to sign payroll checks dated February 28th, 2021, estimated to be about $70,000. Furthermore, to order the treasurer to sign up to the amount of $75,000 for accounts payable that cannot wait until the next scheduled meeting. Reports and actual check amounts will be reported to the boards of selectmen by inclusion on the manifest memo at the next scheduled meeting. I have a second.
Second.
All those in favor? Ricky,
Yes.
John Van,
Yes.
John Osborne,
Yes.
and Chairman Meany, yes. Okay.
Jerry, yes, too.
Yeah, we got you. You already answered. You beat me to it. The next item would be the manifest. The ones for the first, what just came out today? but we have the ones for the 25th. Twenty-fifth of January. Anything on page 1? Anything on page 2? Anything on page 3? Anything on page 4? Make a motion, we accept the minutes as received.
Second.
All those in favor?
Yes,
Sherry,
Yep, yes.
Ricky,
Yes.
John Osborne already piped in, and John Van did, yes.
Yeah.
So, and we'll table the ones for the first until the next meeting. Next item is the administrator's report.
You can see I didn't get you out one. I do have a couple of things. First of all, the mailer, as we talked about, I need to ask a question. Is the printer, in order for him to turn the mailer and the town report back to us by March 1st, I have to give him everything on Monday. I've been asked by the school board, even though I replied that it was too late, I've been asked by the school board to reach out to the printer and see if he would hold off, so that my understanding and what I told her was that we weren't going to put something in the mailer that was pre-deliberative that could be changed. And my reasoning for that was that, one, if it gets changed and we've put out town money for this mailer that's supposed to be the final vote, then we actually look bad because we've put out false information when they're going to the polls with what they think is the proper information. So I guess I'd like to maybe ask if anybody has any input, if you support or want to change what I've already said. I just don't think it's fair for me to squeeze the printer when he's got other towns that he has to do as well. And we need to get it back so that we can get it in the mail and that people can get it to have time to look it over before they
Yeah.
go to the polls.
Well, I agree with you, Naomi. I don't think we should be putting information in that's not finalized in the mailer.
I second that.
Yeah,
100%.
I agree. That's a request from the school, right? From the school board?
The SAU superintendent asked if I could call the printer and see if I could hold him off, but I don't think that's fair to him.
Well, we've given them my opinion is we've given them the opportunity more than enough times, and they've kind of like decided to go their own way. Well, we can't, they know what the ramifications are. You've told them. I know that, I know Maureen said she had a discussion with them, and it's going to cost us, time and effort. And if they wanted to do their own thing, then I guess they've got to go that route. They've had more than ample opportunity. You sent that letter out the beginning of the month.
I just replied to her at the beginning of the month. That's what I told her.
Yeah, you replied. So I think we ought to just stick with that.
And then, so the
Kind of
second,
late in the game now.
yeah, so that's fine, and I appreciate that. I thought I kind of had you guys pretty well. I've worked with you long enough. I figured that would, what's right is right. Secondly, is there's two positions, two, I guess, positions. Selectmen, there's three running for 2. And then with the non-member of the Board of Fire Wards, there's 2 running for 1. I'd like to do a Zoom candidates night. Ricky and Sherry and Mark Nelson Steve Robertson, a gentleman by the name of Samuel Smalls. I was going to do it on Wednesday the 3rd or Thursday the 4th. I'd let you guys, is either of those evenings, Ricky and Sherry, work?
I don't, right at this point, I don't think there's any problem, one or the other. So you're
Yeah,
saying
me
either the 3rd or the 4th of March?
Yeah, I always like to do it before the vote, and it would be
Yeah.
Zoom. I just think it would be a good thing, and I will ask those that are running on the town ballot if they want to join, meaning even the single persons, Wayne Meady, Sarah Wordy, Bill Tiffany, some other ones that might just want to introduce, see a name to a face. You know, people will go in there and see one person and not really know them, but even though, you know, give them the opportunity to tell them who they are. I do know where in the world's doing this similar thing. They're going to ask a few questions, which brings me back to, would you like to do just a town one? Because I've also been reached out by the school. There's 10 people running for 2 seats on the school board. I just think if we kept the town, that's an awful lot of people to try to put through one candidate.
Yeah, to me, that would be
Let them do their own.
confusing. Yeah.
So if we, I mean, if are you okay if I offered a host for them though?
Yeah, you can host for them, but I think my own feeling, and again, I probably shouldn't speak because I'm a candidate, but it just, to me, that would get very complicated very quickly. I think it'd be easier to say, you know, here are your town seats. This is the night. Here are your school seats. This is their night.
Yeah, yeah, and that's what I was thinking, and I'll offer to host on a night that I can do it, obviously not on a night that I've got another Zoom. So.
I
so
have
on a-
to, oh, I'm sorry.
So can I just ask, so in the conversation on Thursday night with, Saturday with the finance committee, they asked about putting in, and I don't think they're going to, they asked about putting in their blurbs for the school, even though there's no article. I think that would be honestly too confusing as well.
I think that'd be more confusing than,
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, just
I
to let
agree
you
with
know
that. I
that
think
if
it'd be
they're,
more of a problem.
that their preface, and they are going to put in a table as they know it today, you know, as they know what's going on, but it could be different. So it'll be just a town mailer with the town information, and the candidates night will be just the town. Those are really only the 2 things that I really wanted to get out, and then finish up the town report, get it off to the printer along with the mailer. So I apologize I didn't get out the report, but that's where I am.
Do we have
Okay.
any, Naomi, do we have any thoughts on what we're gonna do if we don't end up getting another plow truck?
Probably just keep running the one we got.
I'm gonna have to. If they vote it down,
Guess we'll just have one hell of a repair bill when it breaks.
Right, just like we did with the PD when they wouldn't approve the cars, the maintenance line just flew out of sight.
that's for sure.
Yeah, that's all we can do. Just like John Osborne and I had a conversation the morning after the Jefferson Town Hall burn. He asked if we had a contingency plan. I said, no, I don't. I still don't know what caused it. I'd like to know, because if it's something somebody left plugged in, you know, I mean, we're forbidden to have electric heaters. So I don't know. I hope that nothing happened to us, but at the same time, anything can happen. Lightning could strike, but we don't have a place to go. Something we should be thinking about, but I think, you know, I don't know what else. I mean, John just asked me that question. Other than that, I just was going to, I don't have anything more. Like I said, I just really, this week's focus, I have 4 Zoom meetings, but this week's focus is to get the mailer and the town report out the door Friday. Now, we are closed on Monday, which is why you read that much into the manifest. Monday is President's Day, so we are closed. That means there's no meeting, but you guys can still stop by and do your manifests.
Can we go back to the selectmen's report again, real quick? Actually, in general, Naomi, you said that you had to get everything to the printer by Monday, Monday morning, or like, can you do it first thing Tuesday? Because if I think we ought to at least discuss everything in there. I've never seen it before. I'm kind of curious to see what it is.
Yeah, Jack followed kind of Ricky's lead. You know, he kind of went over what we did, but I'll be happy to send it to you guys.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
We all set with that?
Yeah.
Next item is correspondence and other business. We did get correspondence from somebody at the deliberative session.
Yeah, that's what I was going to actually talk about.
Basically complaining about being separated between masked and non-masked. And it was a conversation between two people. And the interesting thing I noted about it is that they made claim about, you know, being kind of corralled, I believe was the term, in the back corner and not having bathroom facilities, which is false. I mean, they had bathroom facilities they could come and use, and they had masks. And one of the people in that correspondence actually did that, walked up with a mask, had a correspondence with the fire chief, had a conversation with the fire chief at one point afterwards with a mask on. Went and took pictures of us, walked up out of the building with a mask and went to the restroom facility. So I think that's kind of like not exactly accurate, I guess, for lack of anything else. And again, it's a town building, so we can control it. And I don't think that was understood, that we could have required to have a mask, and that building's required to have a mask in there. We offer them an alternate opportunity to be in there. So I think that, I don't think that was exactly a fair representation, in my opinion.
I mean, I think what it was trying to do was provide some feedback for us.
I think that went to everybody, that correspondence.
I just want to, I mean, I never once in my life thought anybody was laughing at that group, which that's kind of what I took back. At the same time,
Yeah.
we do have a responsibility to keep everybody as safe as we can. There's two sides to every story. And as he said, I think as he closed, like I said, that's why I grouped it as, you know, some feedback that, you know, if we were to do this again, he'd like to see us have more thought and respectful treatment for those to exercise their rights. So I guess I take it as feedback. Were there some misinformation? Sure. But at the same time, I guess he's entitled to his opinion.
Yeah, I agree. He's entitled to it. I mean, it's, the other thing is, do they go to the store? Do they go to Market Basket? Do they go to, you know, Country Street? Do they go to Dunkin' Donuts? If they go in, you know, what's the sign on the door say? Have to wear a mask.
Yeah, I think, Jack, though, it's the only thing that's private property. I think public, we have to look at it a little bit differently.
Yeah, it's a little different being public property, public versus,
But we've
private
required
sector.
masks, and we've required masks in town buildings. And I mean, that building was posted before we had the meeting, you know, masks are required to go into the town garage. And we, you know, we have an obligation, like, you know, to keep our employees safe and keep the other people safe in there. So where do you bet, you know, and we accommodated them the best we could. I mean, we did it at the polls. I mean, when they go to the polls, they have an area to come in for non-masked or masked people. We try to accommodate the best we can with what we got. And I think that, you know, they had access to go to the facilities. If they had a mask on, they could go to and use the restroom. That's not a, that wasn't a, you know, I don't think that they were discriminated against in any way. Other than that, they were separated so we can keep them separated from the other people. And I think we tried to do the best we can. That's all we can do.
Yeah, yeah, I just think we just need to, I mean, would you like me to reply back, or is this enough conversation that you feel you've addressed it?
I feel it's enough that we've addressed it. I don't know what the other members feel.
I think that he took the time to write us. I think at a minimum, we need to at least return an email back to him,
Acknowledgement.
and acknowledge it and thank him for his information.
All right, so let me ask you this. I'll draft an email, but I won't send it until I send it to you. And like I said, please don't reply to all. That's where we end up getting in an issue. I'll send you back what I think the response, it'd be very little, but I mean, I'll just thank him for it and point out just, I'll write you an email. Let me ask you that. And then I'll send it to you.
Okay.
Hopefully this was a one-shot deal on doing this. Next year we'll be back in the school. And,
Yeah.
you know, we
Yeah.
did what we had to do to keep going with the town.
It's all a learning curve. Ain't nobody done this before.
Right.
That's,
We snuck in under the curve last year because the curve happened after town meeting, so.
yeah,
Right.
Hopefully, we never have to do this again.
Exactly.
I agree.
yeah, actually, it never really hit us till after the election, and it started to hit us when we did the recount.
Right.
That's when it
Right.
really started to hit. Anything else on the correspondence?
No, but I think before you close, I think,
Well, I still got something under other business.
okay, all right, go ahead.
I still had something under the other business. I had one thing, and one of them is to make a commendation to Matt McLean and Bill Straw for their quick action on Saturday when a woman fell into the trash compactor in the hopper up there at the transfer station, and before the fire department got there with the rescue, that they did, I think, an outstanding job. That Matt was paying attention and shut down the compactor and called 911, and then Bill jumped right in and tried to give some assistance to that woman that fell in. And I think that goes a long way to say, show people how the outstanding help that we have in this town and how people respond in our different town departments. And the fire department did an excellent job in trying to get that woman out of the hopper by using different techniques with ropes and a basket. And, and Mike Muse jumped right in also from the police department. I think it was a great effort, and they should be well commended for that. That's, I feel.
How about a letter of recognition to all of them that helped? It's on town property.
Definitely, especially for Matt and Bill, something, and then for the
Yeah.
rest of the responders.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of their job, but for those two that jumped in first, I think it'd be nice if they got a letter.
And it could have been a lot worse if nobody was paying attention, so.
Yeah.
Have anything else on the other business? Okay. Anything else, Naomi? You said you had something else before we adjourned?
No, you hit on what I was gonna say, so.
Okay.
Is that something
Well,
we have to vote on, or can Naomi just put a letter together for Bill and Matt?
put a letter together and we'll sign it. Have the board sign it.
Yeah,
Put it in their personnel jackets, and
yeah, and give them a copy. Yeah,
I think that's the way to do it. And send a letter to each other department head, the police and fire department, for all their great work also.
Yeah.
And the quick response. Anything else under other business?
Real quick, I noticed, I saw an article that February 11, I believe. I have to go back and check the date. I see our moderators on. Maybe she might be able to confirm this or not, but there's going to be a Zoom meeting by the Department of Transportation regarding the potential redesign of the Clinton Street Exit 2 interchange. I know that really isn't a Ware issue, but it does affect Ware commuters. So anybody who's reading this or was watching this in a day or two that's interested, if you go to the DOT's website, I believe there's a link to the Zoom meeting in terms of the redesign
Right.
strategy of the DOT for that intersection.
I thought that was for the exit 1, which was
No,
Logging Hill
it's
Road,
exit
but,
2.
okay. The
Eileen?
town moderator there?
I am. Do I have the authority to speak?
Yes, we were asked if you could speak to that DOT. Is it exit 2
It's
or
exit
exit
two.
1?
It's the redesign of exit 2. John is accurate, and it is a public information hearing, and it's a great opportunity for anybody who has feedback to provide their feedback. And I think, to John's point, there are quite a few commuters from the Concord area that live in Ware, and so it definitely would be appreciated. Safe intervention. There's safe intervention. So, at any rate, thank you, John.
Yep. Actually, I was wondering what the board thought. If I ask if Naomi can put a link to the DOT Zoom meeting on the page.
I think it affects a lot of town residents.
I don't have
I
an
don't
issue.
have an issue
I don't
with
have
it.
an issue. I
All
don't
right,
have an issue
Naomi,
with
I'll
it.
send you the link unless Eileen would like to do that if there's a.
Okay.
So just quickly, as we were finishing up your last conversation, I got a buzz on my phone that says a 55-year-old woman is recovering after falling into the trash compactor in Ware. After we were just talking about it, it just buzzed across MUR.
Yeah, it was on Channel 9 News.
A
Oh, that's not good.
couple days late.
Nice picture, whoever took it.
Yeah, it was on noontime.
Oh,
I think that was Laura from the department, I think.
yeah, okay.
Okay.
Once all that's calmed down, once all this is calmed down, I'm assuming there's going to be an investigation about this and see if there's a way we can prevent this kind of accident from happening again in the future.
Yeah, I guess I would have to say, I mean, we've had our transfer station looked at, and I guess I would have to figure out, or I guess I'd like to know, I'd like to know what happened, I guess, before. I'm sure there'll be an investigation, and there'll probably be more than that, but, I don't know. I mean, yes, we'll have to do something. But I just we'll have to wait and see what happens.
Naomi, didn't somebody else fall into the that compactor back probably 15 years?
I had a man fall. I had a man fall into it when I worked up there, but luckily I had about 6-7 feet of garbage in it.
Yeah, I thought it was about 15 years ago. I don't know if that's the right time frame, but it was quite a while ago.
I'm sure we'll hear something from the Department of Labor and from probably Primex at some point.
Yeah.
Well, I have to notify Primex, which I'll do tomorrow.
Yep.
I was waiting for some information, but I guess the public gets it first.
And the Department of Department of Labor will definitely get it because when they go to the hospital, they'll get reported to them anyway. It's an accident.
Well, not the Department of Labor. That's only if she worked for us.
No, but I mean, it's a facility, so we don't have OSHA. It comes under the Department of Labor. They're the ones that enforce it on town, on municipal property.
Okay.
If there's any violations.
Well, that's all I had.
Okay. There's nothing else. I make a motion, we adjourn.
I'll second that.
Okay, seconded by Sherry. All those in favor?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I guess it's unanimous then.
Okay, thank you, guys.
Okay.